Let's bring in Dave Rubin, the host of the Rubin Report on YouTube. Dave, as to this idea that the migrants were being misled about where they were going, the only thing I saw was that the migrants who were dropped off at the Naval Observatory today thought that they were going to Union Station. It might have been turned. This idea that this is becoming increasingly political, that Greg Abbott's busing migrants to the gates of the Naval Observatory, DeSantis is flying them to Martha's Vineyard, Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, is busing illegal migrants from downtown Chicago to a Republican suburb of Burr Ridge. The mayor of El Paso is busing them to New York City, but nobody's complaining about that. I mean, it's getting beyond political, but you can't get away from the fact that more than 2 million people have crossed the border and that something's got to give here.
Right. So let's deal with that part first. 2 million people crossing the border. That is the job of the federal government. So if we're just looking, where do you lay blame first? Forgetting whether you think people should go to sanctuary cities or not, or whether it's okay to bus people or put them on planes. Number one, everyone has to understand, if we're looking for who started this problem, it is 100% the Biden administration, no matter what Jean-Corinne Pierre says. It is their job as the federal government to protect our borders. That's number one. Number two, as for what's now happening, where they're bouncing across, state lines and into different cities and all that, I actually think this is quite good because it is bursting forth the fundamental difference between Democrat policies and Republican policies. I am a very proud new Floridian, and I love the fact that Ron DeSantis warned the federal government. He warned the Biden administration what he was going to do. He said, if they come here, we're sending them to D.C. or Martha's Vineyard. Well, he did Martha's Vineyard, and I suspect he'll send them to D.C. too. Texas is doing the exact same thing. You're seeing states say, okay, if the federal government will not do their job, one of the few things the federal government is supposed to do, which is protect our borders, then hey, go ahead and go to these sanctuary cities. And it's really funny, too, because the Democrats are freaking out now and the media is freaking out that they're showing up in Martha's Vineyard and and Chicago and other Democrat-run cities. But it's like, don't you guys care about immigrants? I thought everybody's welcome, nobody's illegal, et cetera, although now D.C.'s their homeless shelters are being overrun by illegals, so they're struggling, too. But the point is that it's exposing the nonsense of the policies, and I think that's good.
Yeah, these cities call themselves sanctuary cities, and yet when the people seeking sanctuary come there, they're not particularly happy about it. Abbott sent the bus to the Naval Observatory after Kamala Harris said this over the weekend to Meet the Press. Listen to this.
Border is secure, but we also have a broken immigration system, in particular over the last 4 years before we came in, and it needs to be fixed.
We're going to have 2 million people cross this border for the first time ever. You're confident this border is secure?
We have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation.
So she insists on multiple occasions there that the border is secure. But listen to what a migrant from Venezuela who came on one of those buses to the Naval Observatory told our Griff Jenkins just this morning.
Vice President Harris said that the border is closed. Is the border closed? Do you believe that the border is closed, or is it open?
It's open, not closed. The border is open.
The border is open. Do you believe that all the migrants believe that the border is open?
Yeah, everybody believes that the border is open. It's open because we enter, we come in, free, no problem.
How did you learn that the border was open to come illegally? How did you learn to come?
Because we see on the news that everybody coming illegally. So we also do the same,
So what that migrant said to Griff Jenkins would seem to stand in sharp contradiction to what the vice president claimed, Dave.
Yeah, look, I'm sympathetic to that guy's plight. And if the news in where he's coming from, whatever country he's coming from, is telling him, hey, the border's open, and then everyone's going, the border's open, and then he gets here and the border's open, thus he is in American territory, well, then who's telling the truth? Is it him who's here now illegally, or is it Kamala Harris? She has one job. She seems incapable of doing it. She refuses to visit the border. And, look, a nation is only a nation. She blamed Trump, in essence. She said the previous 4 years. Donald Trump wanted to build a wall. And remember what everybody said when he wanted to build a wall and put up electric fences and monitoring all that? Everyone said he was racist. So is it now the policies of the Democrats, who apparently are very pro-border? Are they racist now? Of course not. So again, we're exposing a lot of the hypocrisy in the policies. And I think this should just continue. Let's, I think this Martha's Vineyard, the area there, they just put out a warning about the influx of people. And it's like, that's 50 people who just showed up on those planes. What do you think has been going down at the Texas border towns for years and years? They didn't have a lot of sympathy then.
No, clearly they didn't. Dave, great to get your thoughts on this. Appreciate it.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.